My name is James Hesch. I'm 22 years old, from Beecher, Illinois, and I race dirt bikes, and I do a lot of other things. Um, it all kind of started, I was really young, and I started riding dirt bikes. I want to say I was maybe like 10 years old, and I don't know, there was just something about it that I connected to, and I really fell in love with it. It was kind of like a sense of an escape for me. And then, I kind of grew into it more and more. And my mom never really allowed me to become homeschooled or anything and take it to a real serious level, which I've always wanted to do. And that's where it kind of all begins. So through my life, I always just wanted to really succeed and become something greater than everybody else, I guess. In a sense, you could call it that, but I mean, that's the easiest way for me to explain it. I just tried to take everything to a full level and something above what I was told my whole life I would ever do. And so, at that point, I kind of got away from motocross for a little bit. Just burnt out. I mean, after so many years of really like training and putting in effort and racing and the injuries you go through and things like that, and it's very mental and it's very stressful, but you always got to look for another way out and another way to succeed. And I never wanted to let myself down, and I live by that. I will not let myself down, because failure to me is not an option. It's just not. And when I took a break, I started getting really heavy into music, and I started managing bands and being a tech for bands, so working on guitars and setting up at shows. And it all kind of started with a clothing company I started working for that I ran with me and some of my friends, and then it just grew from there. I started meeting more and more people. I've helped out bands at Warped Tour, like big bands. I've helped out like Sleeping with Sirens before, A Day to Remember. I've worked with the It Boys through the clothing company. The list kind of just goes on. And there was one band I worked with one time, and they created like this Twitter account that was making fun of me because I'm not very good at spelling, and they started making fun of me through there, and that lit another fire inside of me. And my whole life I just kind of built up all of this like, not like, people gave me hate and gave me reasons to really motivate myself to push to become something bigger and better. I never can sit still. It doesn't happen. And I get bored very easily unless I'm doing multiple things. So, between racing dirt bikes, managing bands, working for bands, and everything in between, I always find something that I can do that just gives me an escape and gives me something to keep busy. And my dream in life is to get somebody to grow with me and get them to the next level. And I go to film school now. I'm a junior at Columbia College, Chicago. I have no actual concentration. I'm a film major, and I study everything from producing, directing, cinematography. I've done photography. I've done some editing, some things like that. Editing's not something I really enjoy because it's a lot of repetitiveness and sitting there for long hours. And I'm somebody that always has to do something. So I started doing that, and I love it because to me it's like I can take something to a level that nobody else, very rare amount of people have ever got to do. And it would be in my biggest dream to hit a big level in that, and like Hollywood level. Do I have any hobbies or anything like that? And I'm still racing dirt bikes, and it's something I'll probably do for the rest of my life. And I want to take on, hopefully, I will never settle. To me, failure is not an option, and I will never settle for anything less than success. And so my ultimate goal is, since I never really got to fully capitalize on racing motocross like I always wanted to, I hope that someday I can be successful and I can afford to do it all. And my ultimate dream is to have my own compound where all my friends can come and ride and hang out and just do whatever we really want to do. And it just kind of drives me more and more every day. The more I think about it, the more I get older. Nowadays, a lot of people, you're like, oh, I'm young, blah, 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 I can do whatever I want, nothing bothers me. But the older you get, the more you tend to start realizing that life isn't really a joke. I mean, it's cheesy to say you only live once, but, that doesn't mean do something ignorant. That means live your life to your fullest and don't let yourself down. Everybody goes, without regrets, life, you didn't live life. Well, that's wrong, There's a lot of things that I regret that I wish I never did. Things that I could have probably done better, and it probably could have taken me somewhere. But you learn from your experiences, and those are things that help you to become a better person. But as you get older, you start to really learn that it's no joke, and success is not always a lot of money, fast cars, things like that. Success is being content with your life and truly enjoying every moment of it. And I'm a strong believer of that, for sure. Some of my biggest accomplishments with racing dirt bikes is, it comes down to qualifying for nationals. After I won my first race, I qualified for a national in 2007, 2008, and 2009. That was in Ponca City, Oklahoma. I qualified first in my region. So, there's probably like 6 states that I came first in, and it's like, there was like 80 something people, I believe, or more, that were in my region to go, which that was really awesome. And then other than that, you put in hard work and other things come out of it, and I got, sponsorships and stuff that were coming in, and my uncle sponsored me with his shop for a while there. And then, I worked my whole life. My dream was to get sponsored by Monster Energy, and come last year, I finally got one. And I got a sponsorship with Monster Energy, and you're part of the Monster Army, which is their amateur athletes, and even their top pro athletes, because they kind of put you in this little, whatever, they call it the army. So, I got my Monster sponsorship, and I've had, I got a GoPro sponsorship, have, Fuel Clothing, Drew Unit Shred Schools, which is one of my good friends who used to race pro. He's like my riding coach, and his company, Flow Plates, which is vented front number plates, and then, I've had ones like Works Connection, I have Matrix Concepts, ASB Inventions levers, I've had goggles, things like that. And that all just kind of comes with hard work and just kind of trying your best to succeed. And Monster was a dream, definitely a dream come true. tried for years to get that one. And when I finally got it, I mean, I was never so happy in my entire life. That was a big accomplishment. My best memory, I don't know, there's probably three that were like my favorite experiences of my life. The first one was when I got my first dirt bike. I mean, I begged my mom, begged her for probably 2 years to get me a dirt bike. My uncle raced pro, and just begged her. And when I woke up Christmas morning and I had a dirt bike, honestly, I've never been more excited in my entire life, next to when I got my second dirt bike. I grew out of my first one, and I wanted, Ben needed a bigger one, and my family saw that it wasn't going away. My mom was hoping I'd get one and just kind of like go away, and that didn't happen. So I got another one, and I remember it was on my birthday, and I was at my grandma's house. We had a dinner, and they were like, oh, well, we'll see. And my uncle kind of told me about a dirt bike that he had, and I was calling him like on a daily basis. I was like, Uncle Rusty, like, is that bike in? Like, can I have that bike? And he was like, I don't know, just coming up with excuses. And it was bumming me out, to be honest with you. And I went home and I was tired, and I had like every dirt bike for my CC size like laid out, and I was like debating on which one I wanted, Yamaha, Kawasaki, KTM. And my mom's like, go open up the garage door. It's like middle of winter. I was like 12, 13, I don't know. All I know is I did not want to. I go out and I open up the garage door, and there's this dirt bike that's sitting in the middle of my garage. And I was super pumped at that point. Like, that was the greatest feeling, next to just getting my first one and then winning. When I won my first race, it's something that, I don't know, you really can't describe it. I mean, I played ice hockey and we won games, and winning feels great, yeah, and you want more, but in motocross, it's every man for himself. There's no team behind you, it's you. In the pros, you have teams and stuff, and they kind of tell you like line choices and things to gain speed here and there, but I mean, as an amateur, it's all you. So when you win, you line up at a gate of like anywhere from 20 to 42 people, and you win that race against those 42 people, it is the greatest feeling in the world, because it's you yourself. And that feeling is what kind of drives me for everything nowadays, to succeed in life, because it's me, it's myself. I'm only benefiting myself by chasing the dreams that I have. And that was probably my third greatest moment. So, I recently started managing a band again, after I once said I was never going to do it again. But I kind of enjoy doing it. I recently started managing Rebuild and Rebound with yours truly, Mike Klein. And he just waved. The camera's not going to see it. He just waved. But when you see it in someone's music, that they have a talent that they can take to another level, there's something that makes you want to help them get to that level. And though I said I'll never manage another band again, because it's like herding sheep the whole time. Like, they're all in different places, you have to try to communicate with all of them. None of them listen, and they like to spend money on like really dumb things. It's like babysitting to its fullest is what it is. But all at once, you can watch this band grow, watch this band become something bigger, and you can watch them achieve their goals and dreams. And I started managing them, and I figured it might as well as give them my best shot and use like my connections that I've made over the years and my contacts and things like that, and just try to help them get to that top level. So like as a manager, what my duties are is to help them find shows, give them a to-do list, you know, which is equipment upgrade, merch. So in case you don't know what merch is, it's like the t-shirts and things like that. Get them to have a solid order of that, act professional, look professional, have a solid, you know, look and sound and everything like that. And you know, you push them to become better at their instruments. You get budgets and things like that made for them. But they really don't like to follow budgets because it requires them to use money for something that matters rather than buying candy or something like a 5-liter. But you know, it's all fun. I mean, you gotta harass them a little bit, keep it lighthearted, but it's a blast. And then you just kind of help them grow with, you know, teaching them all the things you need to gain and build as a band to become to that next level. And you know, people will sit there and be like, oh, you know, I can just play my instrument and I can play shows and just get signed to a label and go on the road. Well, not really. You know, if you're not putting forth the work, which is pretty much the same as anything, if you're not putting forth the work, showing how bad you want it and showing that you're really, really trying, nobody's going to really pay attention. Whoever is the one that fights the longest and fights the hardest is going to be the one that gets it in the end. You have to want to succeed. You have to want to grow. You have to want, you know, to do anything. You don't just wake up and be like, kind of feel like walking and end up winning a 5K. No, you have to put forth effort for it. You have to want to win it.
Mike Klein, if you didn't already know that. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about why I chose James to be my inspirational figure. So besides him being the so-called manager of our band, he's always there. You know, he's always there for us as a band and me as myself. You know, whenever I need to talk to somebody about really honestly anything, mostly it's band stuff, but anything really, James is there. He's literally 5 minutes from my house, and it's great. He's pushing me to be anything I can and want to be, and that's why I chose him.